Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2. It's a great day to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let's jump right in. I'm still shocked that Minkah Fitzpatrick was traded yesterday. I'm quite angry, to be honest with you. I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers got better by trading Minkah Fitzpatrick. So, Cam Heyward, he's got a lot to say about the situation. Didn't expect to lose a teammate like that. Cam Heyward shocked by Minkah Fitzpatrick trade. And that's exactly how I feel. I feel like I was punched in the stomach unexpectedly, and I'm pissed off about it. I I just can't see the Pittsburgh Steelers this year without Minkah Fitzpatrick, without Cam Hayward, and without TJ Watt. And if TJ Watt gets traded because the Pittsburgh Steelers don't want to pay him the money that he deserves, I'm going to go completely out of my mind. If the Pittsburgh Steelers are willing to pay Jalen Ramsey $26 million, dollars, you don't think that TJ Watt should get the money that he's asking for? They'll pay Jalen Ramsey $26 million, dollars, but everybody had a problem with Minkah Fitzpatrick's contract. And Jalen Ramsey is not the player that Minkah Fitzpatrick is right now. He's not. He's not as good as Minkah. I don't want to hear he's more versatile. The Pittsburgh Steelers could have put Minkah Fitzpatrick in the slot. They could have moved him around. They chose not to. So all these lies that you see online, oh, Jalen Ramsey's more versatile. Everybody just says these things blindly because that's what the so-called experts say. Just not buying it. I think Minkah Fitzpatrick can do it all, and he can do it all better than Jalen Ramsey. Whether he's at corner, whether he's at slot corner, whether he's in the deep secondary, whether he's up close to the line of scrimmage, I think the Steelers got worse yesterday, and I'm not going to change my opinion. Super pissed off about this move. Appearing on the latest episode of his podcast, Not Just Football with Cam Hayward, published Tuesday morning, Hayward said he was shocked by the move to trade away Fitzpatrick, especially this late in the summer, just 3 weeks out of training camp. You think that's going to be really cool to see those DBs just fly around. And then I got the gut check of losing a really good teammate in Minkah Fitzpatrick. Hayward said of the trade, according to video via the show's YouTube page. I don't know how I feel about it. It's bittersweet. I've enjoyed playing with him, and I was kind of just shook by it all. And so, what's today, Monday? I'm excited about the new teammates, but I'm also sad to be losing a guy that I really respect in our locker room. See, that's another thing that doesn't get talked about. Minkah Fitzpatrick is not just an average guy. I don't want to hear he's a top 10 safety. He's between 1 and 3 in the league. And the only reason why he was ranked the number 4 safety last year is because of the way the Pittsburgh Steelers used him. And with that being said, look at a lot of these guys that have success. Look at how their attitude changes. Look at look at Odell Beckham Jr. Look at Antonio Brown. Look how Richard Sherman acted when he started to get some press. Like these guys, they thought they were gods. They were so obnoxious. They thought it was all about them all the time. Nothing but drama. Every day of the week, drama, 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 drama. What did Minkah Fitzpatrick do? He showed up for work with his lunchbox, kept his mouth shut, led by example, showed up to all the meetings, learned all the other positions on the team. Minkah Fitzpatrick is known in Pittsburgh to be a coach on the field. So you take all the things that Minkah does on the field, and then you take all the things he does off the field, and people think this was a good trade for Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, the same guy that can't ever play with a team for more than 2 or 3 years. Why is that? Why is that? You know why? Because he's uncoachable. Now, I wanted the Pittsburgh Steelers to sign Jalen Ramsey for a 1-year deal. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and lie. Obviously, you've seen the video. Either him or Mike Hilton to sign them for the slot corner position. I didn't expect Minkah Fitzpatrick to get traded away for this guy. And on top of it, Jalen Ramsey is going to make $27 million a year. It's absolutely mind-blowing. It's just and everyone's complaining about Minkah's contract. He's not worth the contract. Well, have you seen Jalen Ramsey play lately? Because he ain't worth $27 million either, even though I think Minkah Fitzpatrick is worth the money. You could say whatever you want. When Minkah Fitzpatrick didn't play, The Pittsburgh Steelers gave up double the amount of offense. Double. It was called the Minkah effect. Minkah Fitzpatrick would go to one area of the area of the field where the quarterback loved to throw the ball. And guess what would happen? The quarterback would never throw the ball to that area of the field, not even one time per game. And the fans and the Minkah haters and the media, they think that's just going to be easily replaceable. I can't wait till we start giving up big plays in the back end and everybody's going to miss Minkah real fast because I'm telling you, I loved every move that Coach Tomlin made this year in the offseason, in the draft, everything. And this, I have no clue what the hell is going on here. This was a bad decision. Cam also went on to say it's different, shocking, because when we first traded for Minkah years back, I was pretty shocked by that. Heyward added regarding the Fitzpatrick trade. We don't really trade first round picks. And then to bring in a guy like that of that stature, we were all very excited. It's going to be different. Guys are going to have to step up. The great thing about Jalen, though, is he's ball savvy. He has been able to play multiple positions. You've seen him play safety. You've seen him play corner. You've seen him play nickel. He provides that flexibility for defense. I don't believe for 1 minute that Minkah Fitzpatrick can't do all those things. I'm not buying that. I'm not saying that Cam said that, but you're going to hear that excuse over and over again. Well, Jalen Ramsey is more flexible. I'm not buying it at all. But man, didn't expect to lose a teammate like that. Cam can't believe it. You know why Cam can't believe it? Because he knows what Minkah's worth. He knows what Minkah's being asked to do on defense. That's why. He can't get into all of that. The average fan doesn't know. The average media person doesn't know. All you're going to hear from the fans and the so-called experts in the media, Minkah didn't make the splash plays. Really? So taking away a whole half of a field that you're asked just to stand on, that's not making a big play? Deion Sanders used to do that. Literally, quarterbacks would not throw to his area of the field. You couldn't throw the ball that way. Minkah was doing the same exact thing at safety. And I think a lot of people keep criticizing him for his lack of physicality or he looked like he was bored. No, it wasn't that. He kept getting fined and penalized for playing physical. And then he didn't want to hurt his team. So he was like, you know what? If I'm forced to play patty cake or two-hand touch because of the fraud Roger Goodell, then that's what I'm going to do because I don't want to hurt my team. He was putting the team first. Do I think that Minkah Fitzpatrick has the ability to knock your head off? Yes, I absolutely do. But if you're going to get penalized for it every time you hit somebody, you got to put the team first, and winning is more important than you playing a style from the safety position that hurts your team every time you hit somebody. I'm just totally not on board at all with this decision. It hit me in the gut still 2 days later. And another report, Steelers taking on majority of Jalen Ramsey's contract. They'll pay him $27 million. A guy who he's way past his prime. Minkah's not past his prime by any stretch of the imagination. He was being asked to do certain things that limited his big play ability. It wasn't a physical problem. It was a scheme problem. But hey, let's blame Minkah. Let's get rid of him. He's the problem. It's not Coach Tomlin. It's not the scheme. It's not the defensive coordinator. Let's get rid of one of the best players in the whole league on defense and send him back to the Dolphins. Yeah, that makes sense. Then you got to hear this ridiculous article. Fowler, Steelers see shades of Rod Woodson and Jalen Ramsey. Like, are you effing kidding me? Rod Woodson is the only person that you could put above Rod Woodson as the greatest defensive back ever is Mel Blount because they changed all the rules because of Mel Blount. Then it's Rod Woodson and then everybody else. Now Jalen Ramsey has shades of Rod Woodson. How do you get paid for this type of garbage? Rod Woodson is arguably Bo Jackson and Rod Woodson are the two greatest athletes to ever play in the NFL. But hey, let's include Jalen Ramsey into the mix. In an appearance on ESPN's Get Up Tuesday Morning, Jeremy Fowler reported the Steelers see some similarities between Woodson and Ramsey, whom they acquired Monday in a blockbuster trade, along with tight end Jono Smith, trading away Minkah Fitzpatrick in the process. This is a case-by-case situation where a player like Jalen Ramsey just happened to be available where they feel like he gives them more flexibility than what they had with Minkah Fitzpatrick. Fowler said of the Ramsey acquisition for the Steelers. He can play slot cornerback. He can play safety if you need to. They see shades of Rod Woodson. That's a name, a former cornerback that they had back in the day. Give me a break. For anybody to put Rod Woodson's name in the same sentence with Jalen Ramsey, it's just a total, it's just such a joke. Obviously, you've never watched football then, because Rod Woodson is one of the baddest MFers to ever play the game ever. His break, he could single handedly take over an entire foot. Him and Kevin Green on a Monday Night Football took over, beat an entire football team by themselves. I think it was the Buffalo Bills. They absolutely manhandled them, two players alone. Rod Woodson had Olympic gold medal speed. He could break on the ball like no other. His instincts were off the charts. His physicality, he wasn't a diva. He wasn't a problem child in the locker room. Only come contract time, he wanted to get the most money as possible. I can't blame him. But other than that, Jalen Ramsey is no Rod Woodson. I mean, these articles are just downright stupid. I don't know who gets paid to say these things or write these articles, but give me a break. Rod Woodson is black and gold royalty. I would go as far as to say this: Mel Blount, Rod Woodson, Troy Polamalu, and Minkah Fitzpatrick. And you had that guy. And guess what you did? You got rid of him because Coach Tomlin and the defensive scheme limited his abilities. But hey, Jalen Ramsey, he's like Rod Woodson. Oh, okay, right, okay. Sure he is. And my bank account is like President Trump's. Stupid. Mike Florio, who shouldn't even be covering the Steelers at all because he has Aaron Rodgers derangement syndrome. He says sources say Watt is ready for any outcome. If TJ Watt gets traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm going to need help. I'm going to have to go to an institution. The odds might still be in favor of TJ Watt staying in Pittsburgh, but according to Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio, Watt isn't anchoring himself down to remaining a Steeler, with trade buzz growing on the heels of the Minkah Fitzpatrick deal and reports Watt is unhappy with the lack of contract extension. Florio reports Watt is ready for any outcome, which presumably means a scenario in which Watt doesn't remain a Steeler. The problem is that the two sides we're told, nowhere close on a new deal, Florio wrote Monday night. Watt, one of the very best defensive players. Does anybody know how to write anymore? Watt, one of the very best defensive players is the game. In the game. Not only are these articles stupid, you don't even know how to spell. Is ready for any outcome and not afraid to push the issue. I mean, can you blame TJ Watt if he said, you know what, F the Steelers, I'm so sick of you? All the production that the man has produced over the years, and you give guys like Jalen Ramsey $27 million a year. Jono Smith gets $12 million. But you don't want to make TJ Watt get the same amount of money or more money than Myles Garrett. TJ Watt last year won the Pittsburgh Steelers 4 games all by himself with his defensive play. I can't. I don't want to hear it's just business. If this is just business, it's stupid business. TJ Watt should have been the first player that the Pittsburgh Steelers handled during their doing contracts. No, they took care of everybody else first. And you wonder why the guy's pissed off. And he has every right to be pissed off. And I'm pissed off. Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2.